On October 17, 2021, Peter Obi was traveling from Abuja to Lagos when he got a call on his cell phone stating that his name was mentioned in Pandora Papers, which they claimed Peter Obi incorporated an offshore holdings which he did not declare to the Code of Conduct when he served as the governor of Anambra State. In great dismay, the news quickly spread all across Nigeria and people started asking questions. From the camp of Peter Obi's opponents, they were celebrating because the plan to indict Peter Obi for a crime which he did not commit was working perfectly. Before Peter Obi tried clearing his name to the general public, a letter was sent to Peter Obi's office asking him to report to EFCC headquarters in Abuja on Wednesday, which was October 27, 2021, to face further investigations. When the same alarming and soul-wrecking news got to the camp of Peter Obi's opponents, they were so happy and even popped some bottles of champagne celebrating the downfall of Peter Obi. Peter Obi honored the invitation set aside by EFCC, but before then, you need to know one thing. As a governor in Nigeria, you cannot have an undisclosed business running in the country. The only business a civil servant in Nigeria can openly operate is agriculture, so this was a big case for Peter Obi. Peter Obi got to Abuja and drove straight to the EFCC office or headquarters to quickly clear up his name and put everything in order. When he arrived at the office, he was greeted by a lot of news agencies pointing cameras and microphones at him and also asking a lot of questions to Peter Obi. Peter Obi ignored all of these set up plans by his political opponents because anything he says to the press and publications can be used against him. That was a very thoughtful act by Peter because reporters and journalists can be very smart in asking questions that can put you in a very tight situation regardless of how smart you think you are. When Peter Obi got to the main office, he was shown some of the allegations leveled on him. The investigation, as reported by Premium Times, revealed how Peter Obi incorporated offshore holdings and also how Peter Obi, as the governor of Anambra State, kept managing his next international UK limited organization. The allegations also shows that Peter Obi kept managing his company for 14 months after becoming a governor and also continued to operate a foreign account. After Peter Obi heard all of these allegations, he just smiled and gave them a befitting response. Peter Obi had a business, no doubt, in the UK, and before he became the governor of Anambra State, that same business was folded legitimately after following the due process of the UK Business Act. He folded the business and it was operated by a trust firm, which simply means that Peter Obi has little or no right of ownership for the stipulated number of years, and based on Peter Obi's agreement with the trust firm, he was getting no income from this establishment. After extensive and comprehensive discussion and investigation conducted by EFCC, they dropped all of the allegations and cases leveled on Peter Obi. Peter Obi left the EFCC headquarters and he was very happy that he has cleared up his name in the betterment of him and people who believe that he wasn't a corrupt leader. On the other hand, Peter Obi's political opponents and enemies weren't too happy with the outcome and they re-strategized on how to effectively thwart and set up a blueprint for the downfall of Peter Obi. And this was the beginning of many false allegations that will surface in coming months and days. When Peter Obi got home, he quickly related the outcome to his family members and to the press. A lot of Peter Obi's supporters at that time breathed air of great relief, and for the very first time in days, they had a proper rest of mind, not knowing that a lot of drama was on the way. For a fact, Peter Obi was to contest for the presidential primaries under the People's Democratic Party, PDP, when he quickly noticed that his enemies and political feisty opponents were right in front of him. The same people who he dines and hold important meetings with are the same set of people who want to bring him down. Peter Obi quickly realized that if he stays back and contests for the presidential primaries under the People's Democratic Party, it's more like offering yourself to be eaten by a very hungry Nile crocodile. So what are the actions Peter Obi executed to avoid being eaten by these very hungry political opponents? Peter Obi decamped and moved to Labour Party, a move that all of his enemies never saw coming. When Peter Obi moved to Labour Party, his political enemies were left dumbfounded. And these guys were so mad at the very intelligent move made by Peter Obi. When Peter Obi moved to Labour Party, it caused a lot of uproars and disbelief in the hearts of Nigerians. A lot of Nigerians felt that Peter Obi's move to Labour Party was not a good idea. They never knew it was the best move possible for Peter Obi. Peter Obi's supporters joined him in Labour Party, and the presidential race had received a green light, more like a light at the end of the tunnel. Peter Obi never knew this would lead to a second phase of drama that was designed by his political opponents. This unknown political opponent of Peter Obi held a secret meeting to re-strategize and research for another way to come after Peter, and they got a perfect plan. And this plan, according to them, is a no-brainer, and Peter Obi in no way, shape or form will be able to escape this last and final attempt to pull him down. Before we look at this final attempt, if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button and turn on post notifications. Thank you. Back to the drama. On the 16th of January 2023, Nigerians and obedience woke up to a news stating that the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the person of Peter Obi is facing a fresh disqualification suit at the Federal High Court in Abuja over his alleged possession of dual citizenship of two countries. Peter Obi, who was dragged before the court by another party, the National Rescue Movement (NRM), which among others alleged that the presidential candidate is no longer fit and proper for the highest plum office in Nigeria on the account of dual citizenship. This was a very funny allegation because what Peter Obi had in the US was an honorary citizen of the city of Dallas and not a citizen of a country in its real sense. To put this into simpler terms, what Peter Obi received from the city of Dallas in the United States is more like a documentation and certificate to honor Peter Obi for having an outstanding personality and also serving Nigeria selflessly. This wasn't a true citizenship in its real sense. It's just a form of honor to Peter Obi, because if Peter Obi wants to travel to the US, he still needs to apply for a visa and wait for a visa to be granted before he can travel to the US. So Peter Obi had no dual citizenship. Peter Obi is a citizen of Nigeria and Nigeria alone. What Peter Obi possesses is just an honorary citizen of a city of Dallas. Peter Obi was given a symbolic key to the city to come and go as he liked. Nonetheless, if the US State Department, through its embassy in Nigeria, refuses to grant a visa to Peter Obi, he cannot enter the US, much less travel to Dallas, whereas a US citizen would not need a visa to travel to the US. The lawsuit labeled on Peter Obi was dead on arrival, and this was the third time politicians in the country tried to pull down Peter Obi from contesting in the presidential elections in Nigeria. But the question here is, why is Peter Obi the most feared politician in the country? Why are all of these guys so scared of Peter Obi? It seems Peter Obi is the smartest politician we have in the country. To watch a video that explains how Peter Obi became the smartest politician in the country, click on the video showing right here on your screen. Click on this video and I will see you there.